This is bait. This is them playing with your emotions. This is them trying to incite anger within you so that you will then get out into the streets. And then when you get out into the streets, they are going to beat you. They are going to murder you. And then Donald Trump will have what he needs to call martial law. Don't do it. Stay your behind at home. If they want to pardon Derek Chauvin, let them do it. They want to release him under some other pretense, let them do it.
If we are issuing pardons, however, there is one person that President Trump should pardon from federal charges forthwith. It would be incredibly controversial, but I think that it's absolutely necessary. That person is Derek Chauvin.
People are speculating that Elon Musk wants to enact martial law because he just raised the idea of releasing Derek Chauvin, the police officer who had his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes straight from prison. Number one, Elon, you aren't even the president. You do not have this authority to even be floating this idea in the air. Number two, you know what will happen if you release Derek Chauvin. People are going to take to the streets and America will essentially, God forbid it doesn't, but is going to burn to the ground. Which made me think, is Elon trying to enact martial law? Does he want people to take to the streets so they have a reason to enact martial law? And are black people being used as a sacrificial goat to get what he wants? Elon Musk's stocks and companies are plummeting in all countries, and countries are denouncing him and his Starlinks. They're ripping up the contracts. So why out of all times are you now bringing up Derek Chauvin, who is a cold-blooded murderer and should be in prison? The forensics team looked at the George Floyd situation and said, look, this cause of death was asphyxiation and nothing else. Closely examined. This, you see it on video. This was nothing but asphyxiation from having a knee on his neck for 8 minutes. Everything done to Americans, people losing their jobs by the tens of thousands, government jobs being taken away. DEI, which reversed discrimination, has been reversed. The anti-discrimination law is dismantled. Not one black person in any position of power in the White House. You have it all. Is it not enough? What else needs to be done? Congratulations. You've oppressed people that have been oppressed their entire time in America, but I have one question. You've done everything you wanted to do. We're about to go into a trade war. Stocks have crashed. Will Elon Musk not be happy till all brown people are across the border and all black people are slaves again? This is insane. What is this revenge you're looking for? What happened to you? Nobody's bothered. You ever notice? Black people don't bother nobody. And it's always someone that looks like Elon looking for a problem, going out of their way to create the problem and then victimizing themselves after. Everybody's saying if this happens, everybody stay home, just be intelligent, don't do nothing crazy. And look, protesting is legal. You can protest. Don't do anything against the law. Let Elon's karma deal with Elon. You don't have to go out there and be Elon's karma, okay? Let Elon's karma handle that. Don't do anything against the law, please, for you. And Elon Musk, go focus on your 13 other kids who hasn't seen you in the past 6+ months, instead of daydreaming and having dreams and nightmares about black people, because we don't care about you. It's like, notice me, everybody, notice me. We don't care about you. This is only going to hurt your brand worse, and you're not going to get what you want out of this. I promise you that. Y'all let me know what you think below.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great wherever you are watching us from. What if I told you the push to pardon Derek Chauvin might not actually be about Derek Chauvin at all? Some people believe this controversy is being used to provoke outrage, fuel division, and trigger a reaction that could have consequences far beyond one court case. So before you pick a side, stay with me because there is a part of this story that most people aren't talking about. Let's dive straight into the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. I'll be back with my commentaries.
So the Minnesota Republican Party had their annual convention this week, and they held a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin. If you don't know who Derek Chauvin is, he's the man currently serving decades in prison for murdering George Floyd. There has been a tremendous push on the right to try to pardon Derek Chauvin. They say that he did not murder George Floyd despite him being found guilty and despite the world seeing the horrific video of him murdering George Floyd. And so Chauvin is currently serving decades behind bars. He has both federal prison time and state prison time. And well, if Donald Trump pardons the federal charges, he still has state prison time. But this week, Minnesota Republicans at their annual convention decided to hold a moment of silence for him. A moment of silence for a man who murdered George Floyd. A murderer. They held a moment of silence for a murderer, and not many people are talking about it. Spread the word. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come.
So now they're talking about freeing Derek Chauvin. And to that I say, free the boy! Free him! Because all the other criminals that have been pardoned are either getting locked up or they wind up no longer among the living. Let them loose. We do not care. We are too busy dilly-dallying and frolicking and whatever the fuck else we want. Won't be a motherfucking protest. You're not gonna start a riot. Won't be nothing burning, no bricks be throwing. We do not care. We quite literally do not care. Most of us, honestly, after the 6th, when the results were final, hands up, don't shoot. Not my monkey, not my circus.
And what do you think is going to happen after this guy gets pardoned? I'll tell you what's going to happen. All hell will break loose. It will be Black Lives Matter all over again. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And when it happens, freaking know your rights, the Second Amendment specifically.
Wow. So what? You're excited at the prospect of a race riot breaking out so that you can feel justified in using your Second Amendment? You know the internet is forever, right? Like, you got on here and said all that.
I am not falling for that bullshit. Like my beautiful sister Tabitha Speaks said, that bait. Oh, look, let's talk about pardoning Derek Chauvin. It's bait. They just want to see black outrage. They just want to see black outrage. But do you know who else ain't trying to hear from y'all about this pardoning of Derek Chauvin? Fucking Derek Chauvin. Think about this for just a second, kids. Why did he plead guilty to those federal charges? Because it moved him out of the fucking state of Minnesota and into a federal prison. If they pardon him, do you think them state charges go away? No. He gets a pardon from Trump and gets in a van and drops his ass right back to fucking Minnesota. And he'll be in ADSEG, administrative segregation. Do you think they can't touch him there? Right now, Derek Chauvin is looking at Ben Shapiro and Elon Musk and all the rest of you dumb motherfuckers going, hey, shut the fuck up, shut up. Shut the fuck up. So y'all tried to put that bullshit out, expecting us to hit the streets with signs and keep Derek in, keep Derek in. You know who else will be holding the motherfucking sign? Derek fucking Chauvin. Keep me in right here. If Trump pardoned him, he would have to go back to Minnesota because a presidential pardon doesn't cover state charges. Only a governor's pardon can do that. And who's the governor of Minnesota? So Derek Chauvin would have to take his ass to the cold tundras of Minnesota to go back to prison for the next 20-something fucking years. Rather than being in this cushy-ass goddamn place where he's at right now. Oh, he's still doing hard time, don't get me wrong. But hard time in a federal prison is a whole lot different than hard time in a goddamn state prison. Derek Chauvin is looking at y'all going, I mean, shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. I get it. Y'all want get back for that one time that y'all had to watch as a cop did everything that black people have been saying the cops can do have done to us since the 60s. Y'all want get back. Oh, y'all hate that man so much. If it's not talking shit about George Floyd, it's bigging up and trying to celebrate the fucking murderer, Derek Chauvin. Well, in this regard, Derek Chauvin ain't trying to hear from y'all. Derek Chauvin probably heard that shit from Ben Shapiro's like, does he not know I told him to shut the fuck up? If he don't shut his punk ass up, he don't go nowhere. Shut up. He out there fighting with us. Keep him in. Keep him in. Yes, keep me here. Keep me in. I don't want to go no place. Please leave me here. Y'all can save it with that goddamn bait. I ain't fucking with y'all, man. The only reason I'm even bringing it up is before somebody fucking even asked me. I'm telling you right now. If Derek Chauvin got a federal fucking pardon from the President of the United States today, tomorrow he'd be on either a bus or a train or a plane back to motherfucking Minnesota. And the way planes is falling out the sky, he'd be wanting to have that before he has to take his ass back to fucking Minnesota to go to prison. Shut the fuck up.
Black people see reality. We see the fact that no matter what, white supremacy will always play a role in majority of white Americans' lives, even the quote-unquote good ones. You said out of your own mouth, we got to be able to accept these Trump supporters when they finally want to come back to society. No, we don't. You know what people also thought that? White people during the Civil War. We got to be able to accept these other people who wanted to fight for slavery when they're really ready to come back to the country. There's no accountability for white violence. There's no accountability for white ignorance. There's always this weird sentiment of, oopsie, we're in a learning process. And during this learning process, we will be violent and we will be ignorant and we will do bigoted things. White people are afforded the grace to act like they're ignorant when they're clearly not. The truth is, white supremacy also relies on the support of the quote-unquote good white people. And black people are tired of being the scapegoat. Black people are tired of being labeled as the people who quote-unquote destroyed this country, where there is clearly only one group of people who have destroyed this country. And until you're able to take off those rose-colored glasses, black people will be sitting it out.
Why do you think this is happening?
I feel that these people want to incite riots again so they can do what they wanted to do in 2020 and kind of like basically, for lack of better terms, get rid of us.
You feel something like this would spark people to just react in a violent way, and that's what some of them want, so they'd have an excuse to hurt people? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I feel.
Derek Chauvin's federal charges for violating your brother's civil rights resulted in a 21-year sentence, which he is serving concurrently with his 22-and-a-half-year state sentence for murder, meaning that a federal pardon wouldn't have any impact on the time Chauvin spends in jail. What do you think the point of all of this is? He wouldn't get out of jail because he still would be in under state charges. So why would people like Musk and all of them, what point are they making when they know it won't free him from his incarceration?
Well, I don't think they're making any point. You know, I stand on what I said before with Shapiro. They need to stay in their lane. You know, I listen to, you know, some what you speak on when it comes to the Central Park 5 and what Trump did as a businessman, as a real estate person. He stepped out of his lane and voiced his opinion, and that's what I feel like Shapiro and every other person, conservative or whatever, is doing now. They're voicing their opinions, but they're not stating facts. They're not paying attention to the facts.
Murdered someone in front of other people. Mind you, it was on video as well. You guys suffocated this man. Sat on that man's back, chest, or whatever the fuck the case is. Killed him. And y'all think that man deserves a fucking pardon? Are you serious? I'm just really tired of white people basically telling us that they don't give a fuck about us. Like, I'm tired of it. And it's funny that I just said that and no white man just walked past me. But no, for real, like, that is legit what that man is doing in our face, telling us that they don't care about what they did to one of us and they deserve to get out for it. Like, this shit is insane.
There is no way this is not rage bait. Elon borrowed RFK Jr.'s brainworm and is just letting it play with the controls like plankton in SpongeBob. It kind of follows a logical conclusion, right? Because the right wing in America have made their entire political identity around attacking DEI and hating DEI, while at the same time implicitly associating anything to do with black people in professions or positions of power as being DEI. Essentially turning DEI into a new form of sort of dog whistle or sort of a new slur, essentially saying, oh, you're DEI, basically making it clear that they have a problem with black people. I did not realise that Tom fuckery went as far as a South Africa apartheid billionaire trying to advocate for the freedom of a corrupt police officer with a history of racism-based violent complaints who held his knee on the neck of a man for 8 minutes, resulting in his passing. That was found in a court of law. If anyone says anything about blood content or anything, congratulations, you're about as racist as this guy. George Floyd was a white guy, you wouldn't be saying that, would you? And then people saying like, oh my god, why would Elon suddenly be just so crazy in favour of white racists? And it's like, this is not new. The guy comes from apartheid South Africa, and the way that his companies get sued for racism, it reflects that. This is absolutely crazy work that people aren't aware of. Like, in these lawsuits, there's allegations that Tesla management and stuff were just turning a blind eye to racist slurs and graffiti, including nooses and that one particular symbol that we don't like. It's no surprise that this guy, prompted by Benny Boy, is so eager to wiggle his jiggly Ozempic chin into the legal system and try and get this absolute monster released. Then there's also people saying that he wants to do it because it will cause people to riot, and then he can use that as an excuse to get Trump to implement martial law because all of his companies are failing and his net worth is going down at the moment. And I think he probably wants to fix that with a little bit of authoritarianism. Disgusting though.
Elon Musk is a white supremacist. End of story. Case closed. And if you support him, so are you. You won't know who this is. That is Derek Chauvin. He unalived George Floyd back in 2020. And now Elon Musk is advocating for him to be pardoned. Yep, that's right, to have his record wiped clean and let out of prison. Musk reposted another white supremacist who said, quote, "There is a man who is rotting in prison because the media decided in the middle of 2020 that they were going to turn a tragic law enforcement stop that ended with the unaliving of a man who had significant problems." He then linked a petition asking supporters to sign a petition for Trump to act on that. Act as in overturning Chauvin's conviction. And then Elon Musk reposted that and wrote, quote, "Something to think about." I can't even imagine what would happen if this were to happen.
And another thing, y'all, this whole thing with they're trying to pardon Derek Chauvin, the guy who unalived George Floyd. They want us outside so bad. They want us to come outside so fucking bad. Like, damn. Y'all really itching to wanna, y'all trigger fingers is really fucking itching that bad. Y'all that bored. Y'all like, yo, where's these niggas at? We gotta, like, where are they? Come out. Like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. We're gonna stay home. We're gonna mind our business. We're going to, keep up with our skincare routines, try to figure out what we gonna do, how we gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna be sitting there running out in these streets with y'all, getting fucking popped in the head by rubber bullets. No.
Well, guys, they've gotten so desperate for our presence in these streets till the Republicans are now pulling a low blow. The Hill is reporting, the newspaper The Hill is reporting that Republican Ben Shapiro is starting efforts to go to Donald Trump to get him to pardon the Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin, who unalived George Floyd before the entire world. Pardon. Yeah. What they're trying to do is get us emotional. They want that reaction they got after he unalived George Floyd for all of us to see. They want that raw anger, emotions. You know what I mean? They want us to be that incensed to come out into these streets. And what's waiting for us in those streets is the worst police brutality will probably be in the record of America since the 60s. And after they get their fill, Trump will call martial law, which is what he wants to do anyway. And it's going to be a win-win for him. And it's going to be a lose-lose for us. We do not in any circumstances, need to react the way they're hoping and counting on us to react. If they go to Donald Trump with that, he is going to pardon him, point blank, period. And us getting out in those streets is not going to stop it. They're going to have to get what they want some other way. They're not going to use us this time. We're not going to be the excuse they need to start the brutality. As we can see, the protests that are going on now, there has been no police involved. None. Barely arrests. There are no headlines. There are no nightly news of news anchors out on the streets watching the brutality and seeing people being dragged off. None of that is going on. And we all know why. So, because they can't get us out for any other reason, we're not budging. Now they want to try to pull on our emotional strings. Because, you know, they say the blacks are so emotional. No, we're passionate. We're passionate and we're true to ours. And we will stand 10 toes down when we see something being wrong to ours in front of our face. Yeah, the majority of us are built that way. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to use our personality traits against us. We already know we got each other back like that. We don't have to go out here into these streets and allow you guys to degrade and demean the memory of George Floyd, to incite us to come out there for more violence, for more deaths, and then for y'all to get y'all ultimate brass ring is for him to call martial law. We're not playing that role. You're not finna play us like that. Quit playing in our faces. We are not doing that. We are matching energy in 2025. We are matching energy. Us coming out there, black people coming out there in them streets, is not going to stop him from doing what he's going to do. So what's the purpose of going out there and people to spill more blood, people to lose more lives, more people's lives to be turned upside down? And for what? He's going to do it anyway. Black people, stand down. Let them do what they're going to do. But what they're going to have to do is find another way to get what they're trying to get. You're not going to use us. You're not going to use the memory of our brother George Floyd. He would not want us to go out there to appease them, to be a flunky, to be a pawn in their chess game. No. They want us to react. They don't want us to stop and think. Because they think we all so stupid. They think we all so simple-minded. And we so emotional. No, we're not. We know when it's time for us to stand up, we stand up. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to let you go out here and create something for us to go out here to stand up for just so you can come in and get your way. We're not having that. Not in 2025. Do what you're going to do. My brothers and my sisters, please peep this game. They know that Mr. Floyd is a hot button for us. They know because we all watched that. We all were a part of his transitioning that day. They know that hit us to our core. So you can tell in that act alone the desperation that they want us out in them streets. Why is our presence so freaking viable? Why? All of a sudden we matter? They going to some extremes to try to get us out here in these streets. We're not falling for it. Stay home. Research this. Go out there, look it up. Google The Hill and Google Ben Shapiro. What is his efforts about our brother George Floyd? Google it, look it up, so you're not surprised. I don't want you hearing this the first time over the news. Go find out for yourself so you can be prepared and act accordingly. Yeah, we know what y'all doing. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Try that on somebody else. It ain't gonna work. MAGA is the one that react to everything y'all say. We don't. We ain't running up in nothing on your behalf. We're not doing that. We're not coming out in them streets on your behalf. We're not doing it. We're not. Excuse me. Ooh, yeah, it's been a long day. We're not doing it. We're not doing it, people. We're not this simple-minded. And our lives are not some little pawns on a table for people to move around for their pleasure, for their giggles and their agendas. Our lives are not. We know our worth, and it's worth more than being a pawn in y'all little stupid game. Please understand where this is going and where this is coming from and what they're trying to get. Don't give it to them. Like I said, us going out there is not going to change one thing. We know who's sitting in that White House, and we know he would love nothing more. That's just more you're going to have to answer for, sir. That's just more you're just going to have to be held accountable for when you have to stand before your maker. Certain things you have to leave in the Almighty's hands. But what we're not going to do, we're not going to demean and belittle Mr. Floyd and the impact he had on us and the impact he had on this entire world. We're not going to demean that by running out there all wild and all out of order and all crazy. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to lose our composure. We're not going to do that. That's what you want. We're not going to do that. But what you are doing is showing your true selves. And Republicans, I want y'all to be proud of this. This is what y'all standing for. This is what's representing you. This is the stench over your head every time you walk in a room. It's people like Ben Shapiro and others that are doing other people's bidding, that are trying to play with people's lives, that are willing to cause harm and even death upon people. And for what? To get a pat on the head? A little extra change in your pocket? Your entire party is full of cowards, sellouts, con men, and every other lowlife you can think of. For anyone to even be able to even have that concept, you are a lost cause. And if you support that, you are a lost cause. But you need to look at what you're a part of. Because, you know, they always say birds of a feather. Be careful that that buzzard stench don't follow you for the rest of your life. My people, we know what to do. We see through this. We see the smoke and mirrors. We ain't falling for the okie doke. It ain't happening. Come better. We're not coming out there. We know it's not going to change anything. It has nothing to do with how you want it to. It's not about Mr. Floyd. It's not about that. He's resting in peace. What we're not going to do is we're not going to play y'all game. Find another way. Y'all take care.
This is for my white people. If you are in support of Derek Chauvin getting out of jail, prison, whatever you want to call it, lock up, this is the reason why we don't fool with y'all. This is the reason why. Of course, me being me, I've researched it, and he can't get out. He can't get out. It's a state charge. But with the person that we're dealing with, the person that we're dealing with, it's a possibility. But I want to say to you guys, this is the reason why we don't fool with y'all. If you're ever wondering, this is why. Because y'all be in support of the silliest, craziest, weirdest, low down, trifling things. You never in support of the real. You would rather for a convicted cop that killed another human being for no reason other than that's what he wanted to do. You would rather be in support of that guy than the real. And this is why we don't fool with y'all. I just thought I'd wake up this morning and let y'all know that. If you're ever wondering, I need you to put this in your brain and lock it. This is why.
On a course 400 years ago, when you illegally bought the human beings on those slave ships, that started it. Your continuation of slavery for 400 years started it. Your refusal to allow people to be free started it. All of this started it. Y'all got a lot of nerves, man. Want to dump something on one incident from some white racist ass cop kills a black man on video, and now you want to make that's the thing that set race relationships in this country? No, when you murdered Emmett Till, when you refused to let us ride on the bus, when you fire hosed us, when you put dogs on us, all that started it. When you burned down Oklahoma when we had our own Black Wall Street, that started. It ain't enough that you got everything. You don't want us to have a damn thing. That's what started. Because America wasn't built on DEI. You're damn right it wasn't built on diversity, equality, inclusion. It was built on the backs of slaves.
All right, we'll be back with more of the Steve Harvey Morning Show right after this.
Good morning. So not only does Ben Shapiro want Chauvin pardon and want Donald Trump to pardon him, sound like Elon want him pardoned too. Yeah, just heard it on the Steve Harvey Morning Show. The man he's serving it on a federal level. If they pardon him on a federal level, it's much gonna be something done to where the governor or somebody can pardon him on the state level. I don't know. But other than that, he you know what? For what? We saw everything like Steve Harvey described. I just got the last part of what he said. We saw everything on camera. For what? My brother was murdered. And you want to know what they said was the cause of his death? Oh, they said it was the drugs in his system. But come to find out, the person choked him out, causing the drugs to counteract on him. Attack him in his system. And then all of a sudden, he couldn't breathe and it took his life. But y'all gonna blame it on the drugs. Y'all better stop that. I'm telling you, you're gonna reap what you sow.
This was only going to be a matter of time before this administration or before someone on the right suggested this. And honestly, I'm not surprised. And of course, it's going to get support from Elon Musk. Obviously. This is outright rage bait. Point blank, period. Whether they pardon this man or not, this is rage bait. This is to bait you in, because if MAGA doesn't rile up the libs, to own the libs, to anger black people and women and people of color, they have no content. So the only reason why he will be doing this is because your reactions to this will give him content to make. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not interested in debating maggots and right-wing pundits over a video that I've seen of this cop and several of his colleagues unaliving this man in public on camera. There is nothing to debate. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to have a conversation about, okay? He was convicted in the court of law because everybody saw that these cops went too far. And the debates that will be had is you questioning and being gaslit into believing that this man had overdosed when he had 5 cops sitting on his back and 1 on the base of his neck for several minutes. I'm not debating that. And I'm not going to give my reaction to that either. We already know what happened because this man got convicted. Okay? This wasn't some attack by woke leftists on cops. This was brutality, and this was justice being served. And they're going to try to bait you into this type of argument just so they can laugh at you. Because at the end of the day, maggots are the most lonely, angry, sad weirdos on the internet who sit on Reddit and 4chan all day being degenerates online to piss off liberals and people that only want the world to go in a progressive direction because they are sad people. Don't take this fucking bait. If it happens, it happens. Stay your black ass at home, okay? Stay your black ass at home. It is not worth it. Okay? Because they need something else to pivot to. They need to pivot to something else. That's why they're trying to be this extreme. They need to pivot to something else because they know this administration is fucking up. Don't take the bait. Stay your black ass at home. Have a nice fucking day.
This isn't a recent story, but I wanted to talk about the day that I finally concluded that there is no such thing as a good faith conservative. Obviously, it's something that I'd suspected for a long time, but the day I sort of confirmed it for myself was in March of 2025 last year, when I saw that Ben Shapiro was calling for Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin. The argument being, oh, George Floyd had a heart condition because I say so, therefore it's not Derek Chauvin's fault that George Floyd passed away after Chauvin spent 10 minutes on his neck. I just remember reading this story, reading this headline, and thinking, they just want a civil war. They want to do awful things so that there's protests, so that they then have an excuse to shoot the protesters. They can declare martial law, suspend democracy, and then use that as a smokescreen to push their essentially religious extremist agenda. That is the only game plan. That is like the social nuclear option that the Trump administration has. If they immediately wanted to cause a riot on demand, Trump could give Derek Chauvin a pardon. It would probably cause a good number of Republicans to immediately turn on Trump, but it is something he could do, and Ben Shapiro is clearly voicing that. This is the kind of thing that your average, let's have respectful dialogue conservative will advocate for, and you're expected to believe that good faith conservatives are a thing. This was the moment for me where I was like, you can't give those people the benefit of the doubt anymore. It's just not safe to do so. I know people are going to be like, oh, it took you that long to work this out. It's like, well, no, you have these thoughts, but this is genuinely what proved it to me. It's my opinion. Follow.
Welcome back, guys. Back in 2020, the world watched as George Floyd died beneath the knee of Derek Chauvin. The footage sparked protests across United States and around the world. People marched because they believed they had witnessed a clear example of police brutality and systemic injustice. Years later, Chauvin was convicted and sentenced. For many Americans, the case seemed settled, but now a new campaign has emerged. Several influential conservative voices have publicly suggested that Chauvin deserved a pardon. Some have argued that he was unfairly treated. Others have claimed that the media distorted the facts around Floyd's death. The message is simple: Chauvin should be released. Naturally, those statements have generated outrage. But here is where things get interesting. Many black commentators, activists, and community voices aren't responding with calls for mass demonstrations. Instead, they are telling people something very different. They are saying, don't take the bait. Their argument is that certain political actors understand exactly how emotional charged this issue is. They know the mention of George Floyd still bring pain, anger, and frustration to millions of people. And according to those commentators, that's precisely why the issue is being pushed too aggressively. Not because they expect a pardon to happen, not because they care about justice, but because they want a reaction, a dramatic one, a reaction that creates headlines, a reaction that creates chaos, a reaction that could later be used to justify crackdowns, increased policing, and harsher government response. Whether people agree with this theory or not, one thing is clear. Many community leaders are urging restraint instead of confrontation. They are encouraging people to focus on building businesses, strengthening families, support one another, and investing in their community rather than engaging in endless cycle of outrage. Another major point being discussed is something many people don't realize. Even if President issued a federal pardon for Derek Chauvin, that shouldn't necessarily mean he walked free. Why? Because Chauvin isn't serving only federal time. He was convicted in both states and federal courts. A federal pardon can affect federal charges. It cannot erase a state sentence. That means any attempt to free him completely would require action from state authorities as well. And that's considered high unlikely. So critics argue that much of the public decision may be more symbolic than practical, which raises an important question. If the legal path to freedom is complicated, why push the issue so aggressively in the first place? That's the question many people are asking. For many black Americans, this debate isn't really about one man. It's about a larger pattern. a feeling that issues involving race are repeatedly used as political weapons. Every election cycle, every controversy, every cultural battle, the same wound gets reopened, the same fear gets activated, the same division gets amplified, and ordinary people are left dealing with the consequences. Some believe this latest controversy is another example of that cycle. They argue that powerful figures continue turning racial tension into political currency, while communities on the ground struggle with housing costs, wages, care, education, and economic opportunities. In other words, while everyone is arguing online, the real problem remains unsolved. Whether you agree with this argument or not, one thing is undeniable. The George Floyd case still has the power to spark intense emotion years later. And whenever emotion run high, it's worth asking a simple question. Who benefits from the outrage? Who gains from the division? And who profits when ordinary people are pushing into conflict with one another? Those are questions every American should be thinking about. Anyway guys, what do you think about this video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. See you in my next video. For now, peace.